Now we hear him. Another trick play as Olszewski throws. It's caught. Olszewski with the pass into the end zone for a Giants touchdown. Jameis Winston.
This is Olszewski. He's going to get the ball on a reverse. I thought it was going to be a reverse pass to the front side. Instead, he's waiting for Jameis Winston, who then gets open, going against Derek Barnes, somehow breaks the tackle, dances in.
It's amazing, you know, off of 1 week of practice, you know what I mean? This 1 week of practice. So imagine, you know, what a full offseason look like. It get dangerous. But it's just a 1 week of practice, so I'm just truly thankful, you know, that everything happened.
Welcome to I Disagree With.
I know you ain't just say that. You gonna say that right now? You gonna say that right now?
The Dallas Cowboys are gonna win the Super Bowl. What? Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones' team, is gonna win the Super Bowl. So what? Just my thought. Carry on. Amen, say man. Amen, say man. Give it up for us, baby. One more time for us, baby. Y'all see what's going on, baby. Merch coming soon, man. Hey, just keep walking with me now. Keep walking with me now. This week's show is sponsored by Eastside Print and Design. Yes, Lord. Give it up for that company and that brand. One more time for that company and that brand. I said that's Eastside Print and Design. It's sponsored on this week's I Disagree With Earl show. Now, if you want to reach out to that company, you can reach them on Instagram at ESPD_. I said that's ESPD_. One more time for that brand and that company. Yes, Lord. Now, I know y'all probably like, Earl, when I could get some merch? Earl, when you gonna load the shirts? Earl, when you gonna get a website? Earl, what's the hold up? I like what's going on over there. Walk with me, baby. Just keep walking with me. I got a lot of goodies for y'all. We gonna have an I Disagree With Earl button. All kind of good things in the works, baby. Just keep walking with me, baby. Walk with me, baby. Now, let's get into it, baby. There's gonna be a lot of good football, college football come Friday and Saturday. Yes, Lord. Because them rankings came out. And guess what I think happened? I think somebody came across my page. I think somebody knew that I Disagree With Earl is in existence and showed somebody on that committee, because what they did was this, kept the rankings the same. The only thing they did was what I don't understand is flip Vanderbilt and Utah. But then I had to think about it. I do understand why they did that. I Disagree With Earl said Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech gonna be the sneaky teams to sneak into the top 12 playoff bracket. And guess what? Utah and Vanderbilt won. But I had to go do some homework. And what happened was this. Vanderbilt won 47-17 against Kentucky. Utah won 41-47 against Kansas State, who's not doing so well this year. So that made a little sense on how they had an opportunity to go ahead on and flip-flop. You know what I'm saying? Crisscross. You know what I'm saying? But hey, to each his own. You know what I'm saying? I said it, I called it. That's just what it is. Now, it's going to be a lot of good football. Now, what you got going on is this. A lot of upsets is on the arrival. I promise you. I believe Michigan going to beat Ohio State. That's just what I believe. Who am I? I'm just the guy, right? You got Texas play Texas A&M. I don't know which way they're going to go. But if I'm the refs, if I'm Vegas or anybody else, I don't want to see Texas in the playoffs. Let Texas A&M continue to do what they've been doing. I don't want to see that. Now, Indiana going to go ahead on and cruise on into it because they play Purdue. They play Purdue. But I had to do homework, and I told y'all last week, it makes sense why they just been floating around there too. Because they got the so-called number one quarterback prospect for the NFL draft coming out this week. To each his own. I'm just the guy. You got Georgia Tech and Georgia play. Now, I don't know how Georgia Tech and Georgia get the 12:30 slot, and Arizona State get the 6 o'clock slot. I ain't getting it. I don't understand. I'm flipping that. So I don't know if they got flex in the NFL like they got in the NFL and college, but if they do, they need to utilize that. Because ain't nobody want to see no Arizona State at no 6 o'clock. We want to see that Georgia game because that's what we all know. Georgia Tech give Georgia a run for their money every single time. They don't have no answer for that quarterback at Georgia Tech. You know what I'm saying? Kirby gonna be, you're gonna see a lot of teeth come Friday with Kirby because he gonna be yelling and shouting and screaming and all kind of things. But I think at the end of the game, he gonna be pouting. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. I just feel like that. Now Saturday, like I said, I think Michigan gonna beat Ohio State. As the ranking committee, what you do if that happen? You know, what you do if that happen? What you do if that happen? Now, LSU, they got an opportunity to make a little noise. They had a nasty win against Western Kentucky. They had a nasty win, but a win is a win. You ain't as good as your what? Your last win. And what they did, they won. Hey, man, say, man, I can't be mad at it. But they got an opportunity to make some noise. Guess who they play? You don't know, huh? I got you. They play Oklahoma. Oklahoma ranked what? Number 8. LSU what? Not ranked at all. So they got an opportunity to make a little noise. Now, Tennessee got an opportunity to make a little noise. They play Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's 2 teams that I predicted that was going to sneak in the top 12. In this situation right here, go ahead on, Vanderbilt. Do what you got to do. Go ahead on and get the dub so y'all can go ahead on and sneak into that thing. You know what I'm saying? And do what I believe y'all can do. You know what I'm saying? And you got Notre Dame and Stanford. You got the 7:30 slot. Now, that team got a lot of rich history. So I can understand how they got the 7:30 slot. But Stanford ain't fighting for nothing. They ain't got nothing on the table. So Notre Dame and sitting at number 9, they about to cruise on in the top 12. I ain't mad at it because I like Jeremiah Love, the running back over there at Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? But if we could replace them with a little slot, go ahead on and put let me see who that is. Ohio State and Michigan up in there, man. We'll catch that at night, you know. Come on now, y'all got them playing at 9 o'clock in the morning. But I guess that's just the world. That's just the world we live in. Who am I? I'm just the guy. I disagree with Earl. I'm just the guy. Now listen. I mentioned LSU. Now y'all all knew that's the home team. That's the college home team. Them in Tulane, right? Now we looking for a coach. You know, we looking for a coach. Me personally feel like we already got our coach. But hey man, who am I? I'm just the guy. So we looking for a coach. Now, word on the street is we ready to offer Lane Kiffin $90 million for 8-9 years. We just gave Brian Kelly $100 million for 10 years. We still on the hook for that. So you telling me within 5 years we ready to dish out $200 million and you know what? I ain't gonna even get political on y'all. I'm not gonna do what I disagree with. Nope, not gonna do it. But LSU some kind of way got $200 million to be dishing out for a coach. Nah, Lane Kiffin, walk with me, my brother. I need you to walk with me. Listen to me. Serious moment. Let him listen, y'all. Listen. Somebody get this to this young man. Somebody get it to him. Listen, my man. You are at a SEC school. You created a culture. You created a tradition, which is winning now because Ole Miss is not used to that. You know, for a very long time, they haven't been used to that, right? You are the what? Top 5. For argument's sake, we're going to just say top 10, right? Highest paid SEC head coach right now. So money ain't an issue. Ole Miss doing what they got to do. The part that I don't like is this. Nobody is saying your buyout is $36.6 million. Nobody talking about that. Nobody is saying Lane Kiffin buyout is $36.6 million. Yeah. So who on the hook for that? Because I know you ain't about to pay $40 million just to come get $90 million. That don't make no sense. That's doing a lateral move. Now, don't come to LSU because the house is dirty. Inside of LSU house is dirty. Outside of the house is very clean, curve appealing. I get it. Don't come here. Don't come here. It's not because you're not wanted here. It's because you are already in the toughest conference in college football. And you are doing exceptionally well. Continue to build your legacy, your tradition, and your culture at Ole Miss. Everybody that come to LSU is trying to fulfill a shoe that was made by Nick Saban. Stop. Only 2 coaches was able to do it momentarily. That was Les Miles because he had an undeniable team. That was big old Coach O, Ed Orgeron. I said his name wrong, I believe, but it was him, right? Again, undeniable team, right? And Brian Kelly, they tried. But Brian Kelly made the right move to come to LSU because he was at Notre Dame. Now, again, he built the tradition, he built the culture, he built the legacy, which made him the appealing coach for LSU to come and try to get. And they did. And they gave him a very generous offer, right? He didn't live up to expectations and he out of here. That's the last that's going to be remembered of him. The same way when Les Miles left LSU, that was the last that was remembered of him. The same way Big O left, that was the last that was remembered of him. Now, understand something. If they hire you, I'm hearing they want to hire Big O as the assistant coach. What sense does that make? So who team is that going to be? How can you hire a new coach that you want, but try to also hire another coach that did something no other coach ever did, not even Nick Saban? So that's tension already, bro. That's tension already. You feel what I'm saying? That's two honchos trying to run a team and change it around. So what's going to happen is this: if that dude go down like that, they're going to hire you. They're going to give you a year or two. It's going to look nasty. They're going to fire you. They're going to move him into the interim head coach. And that's basically how they're going to smother him back into the role they never wanted to release him from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Stay where you at, bro. Money ain't an issue. You're already building what you need to be building in one of the toughest conferences in college football. Continue to do that. Do not come to LSU. I'm telling you. You come to LSU and don't live up to a little bit of the hype or the expectations that you need to live up to. Your legacy, your tradition, whatever it was we remembered before you came to LSU will be thrown away and forgotten. I promise you that. Don't come here. Stay where you are. Do what you're doing. Like Nick Saban said, it's not fair to the players, bro. You done build something in them bonds, them relationships, them commitments that you got because of who you are and what they see at Ole Miss. You gonna all that's gonna be gone, bro. Like it's like you are not bigger than the program, and it's not your fault. It's the big media fault for even putting you on that pedestal to where you gotta have a decision day. What? Man, that's easy. I ain't coming. I'm staying. Simple. Cause I'm interested to know who gonna pay this $36 million buyout. That's what I'm interested to know. I really want to know. Real talk. Like, if you come over here, I don't care about nothing else but who paid the $36.6 million tab. Who? I got to know. I don't want to know. I got to know. So, you know, that's just me. Now, it only makes sense when you do what the head coach at Alabama did. Kalen DeBoer, right? Kalen DeBoer, right? Started off at a very small school, right? Sioux Falls. Went over there, won 3 championships, moved on up to Fresno State, went over there, made them a winning program. He left that, went to Washington. First year he went 11-2. Second year he went 14-1. Then he won the national championship, right, in 2 years. Like, you walking with me? He went from Washington to Bama, and now he over there doing exceptionally well. I feel like he's carrying on the winning culture that Nick Saban left at that school, because Bama wasn't hitting on nothing before Nick got there. You know what I'm saying? Nick left LSU on default. He wanted to go to the NFL. That's when moves like that make sense, right? You see what I'm saying? College, NFL. You see where I'm going with this? Low conference, high conference. You see where I'm going with this? Like, yeah. So stay within your means, my boy. You know, but I was listening to Tyrann Mathieu. Shout out to Tyrann Mathieu, man. Started a podcast called In the Bayou with Terrell. We all played football. The guy told you I played football. It was nice. I played with some real hitters. But anyway, he said something that made a lot of sense to me, too. Frank Wilson, he's the one that put a lot of those LSU teams together. You keep Frank for a little bit of nothing. No disrespect to Frank, right? But you keep Frank to a little bit of nothing, and you can still possibly get the same result, if not better, than what you'll get if you hire Lane Kiffin, if you hire a Big O, a Les Miles, a Nick Saban. You see what I'm saying? He the one helped put a lot of those teams together for real. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not the Nick Saban team, maybe not the Les Miles team in the beginning, but, you know, he had his footing. You know what I mean? So that's just something to think about. He made a lot of sense with that. Like, you keep it light. You just gave $100 million that you're still on the hook for, and you can still possibly get the same results with Frank Wilson, and that's a fact. Shout out to Frank Wilson, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we rocking. That's how we rocking. That's how we rocking. That's where we going. Now, let's get into the NFL, baby. Ja'Marr Chase, you got to come here, brother. You got to put your hands, your fingertips on the end of this table. You got to toot it back, brother. Yeah, come here. That was weak. I don't like when people don't own up to it. It's the NFL. They have cameras everywhere. Like, everywhere. You see what I'm saying? Like, cameras are everywhere. Like, you spit it on Jalen Ramsey, bro. You did that, bro. Like, what you mean? I ain't spit on nobody. Then a week later, I'm sorry for my act. Own that, man. I did that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like all that political statement stuff. And the DB from Carolina the other night, that was literally a low blow. That was literally a low blow, bro. You did not have to do Jawan Jenkins there. I don't know what was said, what was done. I don't know what y'all got going outside of football, but that was just unacceptable. That was just not cool at all. You know what I'm saying? And Jawan Johnson, you scary. Yeah, you scary, brother. Let me tell you why you scary? Because that was an on-site situation. Next time, wear your jock strap with your cup. But that was an on-site situation. And it would make you even more scary. You want to wait till after the game, knowing you're going to have all them police and security and all them people around, and you're going to mush the man. If you're going to do all that, you're supposed to flush him. You're supposed to flush him. But you scary. And next time, wear your cup. And you want to have them problems. But let's get into it. Baker Mayfield had an MRI, came back good. He just got a little AC joint. You know, his feelings was hurt. He forward tough, though. He going to shake back. T. Higgins was carted off with a concussion. Nah, let me tell you something. They got a wide receiver. He made his name in preseason. He been around the league a little while, you know, but he finally got his shot with the Bengals. And he made a lot of noise in the preseason to where he could not be denied a roster spot. And his name is Mitchell Tintley. And he wears the number 82. And what he did was one-on-one was baptize Christian Gonzalez. Yeah, he baptized Christian Gonzalez off the line like that duck, and then he put it on top of his head, and he went with the move. Yes, Lord. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. You feel what I'm saying? If you play fantasy and you're looking for a wide receiver, that's your man's. He gonna make it easy for the Bengals to trade T. Higgins. I guarantee it. I promise you that. I promise you he gonna make it easy for him. You know what I'm saying? He gonna make it easy for him. Now, I want to get into a few of these weekly leaders, man. You guys, man, shout out. Oh my goodness, bro. Give it up for James Winston, bro. Man, that was a good game against them, bro. Oh my goodness, man. James Winston had a play where he caught the ball as a wide receiver, right, on a trick play, stiff-armed the defender, bust the spin move, broke out of an ankle tackle, ran the ball in, and finger rolled that thing in the end zone. Man, shut one more time for James Winston, man. James Winston threw for 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, man. Dak Prescott with the amazing win over the Eagles. Oh my goodness. He threw for 354 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Give it up for Patrick Mahomes doing what Patrick Mahomes known to do. He threw for 352. You got Jacoby Brissett once again on this top list for 317, 1 touchdown, no turnovers. And you got Drake Mill just doing what he doing. You know what I'm saying? Threw for 294, 1 touchdown. Give it up for that young man. Now, let me tell you something. This next person that I'm about to name, he is not real. Like, he need to be studied. Like, we need to get, like, his DNA and put it in, like, an overseas, you cannot enter lab and see what is in his DNA. Man, give it up for Jamar Gibbs, man. Oh, my goodness. This man rushed the ball for only, I said only, 15 times for 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, one more, like, that's not real. That's Madden stats. That's Madden stats. He's a madman. He's a madman. He's a madman. You know, give it up for James Cook, man. 116 yards on 17 attempts. Chase Brown doing what he not known to be doing. You know what I'm saying? 19 carries, 107 yards. You got Emmanuel Wilson stepping in for the injured Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? He rushed for, he touched that ball 28 times. Sheesh. But, you know, at the end of the day, he got 2 touchdowns and 107 yards. You know what I'm saying? Kareem Hunt looking like the old Kareem Hunt in Kansas City. He touched that thing 30 times, too, for 104 yards. Now we're going to get into these wide receivers. We got Jackson Smith. Don't know how to pronounce his last name. 8 catches, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. You got Wendell Robinson. 9 catches, 156 yards, 1 touchdown. You got Amon St. Brown. You got him for 9 catches, 149 yards with a touchdown. George Pickens, that little dude need to be studied. Give it up for George Pickens. I like his swag. I like his aura. I like his style. 9 catches, 146 yards with 1 touchdown. And you got Rashee Rice. I think he got hurt that game. 8 catches, 141 yards. Man, you give it up for them young men, man. You know what I'm saying? You give it up for them young men. And we can't forget about the defense. We got to show the defense a little bit of love. You got Jeremiah Fat. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Played for the Indianapolis Colts. He had 15 solo tackles. Oh, my goodness. 15 solo tackles with 8 assists. You got Blake Cashman for Minnesota. He had 8 solo tackles, 8 assists. You had Burnett Carter for the Cincinnati Bengals, 8 tackles, 8 assists. You had DeMarco Jackson for Chicago. He played for the Saints, too. Give it up for him, man. Over there with Dennis Allen, man. He had 5 solo tackles with 10 assists. That's when you're hustling. See, I feel like when you're assisting, you hustling. Because somebody already got him and you come and finish him. So, you know, give it up for everybody with the assist, man. Assists matter, man. You know, and you got You got Z Franklin over there, Indianapolis Colts, 7 tackles, 7 assists. Man, give it up for everybody that made that. Oh, no, you give it up for everybody, man. Nah, we ain't taking that laugh back, because if you ain't make the list, try again harder next week, baby. Yes, Lord. That's how we coming. That's how we coming. Nah, we had some good football Thursday night. You had the Buffalo Bills playing the Houston Texans. Houston Texans snuck out that game 23-19, exposing Josh Allen. Can't handle the blitz. Houston showed potential. I ain't overexcited, but they showed potential. I like what I saw from Rudy Marks. I like him as their #1 running back in Houston. I really do. Where is Damon Pierce? I don't know. Nick Chubb need to find a new home. You know, I feel like Chubb still got what he needs to have in the team. It's just not the right team. But I do like that. I think Woody Marks, and I think next year when Joe Mixon get right, I think that'll be a nice 1-2 punch combo that Houston will have coming out their backfield. You know, the defense showed out. Houston defense had 8 sacks. 8 sacks. Josh Allen didn't know well, when, and how they was coming. All he knew was they was coming. And he didn't know what to do, and he did what he known to do. Just throw the ball. And that's a bad thing to do as a quarterback. Man, let me tell you something. Buffalo could keep playing around if they want to. They're going to be on the outside looking in, because things getting funny around the league. And when I say that is, that NFL playoff picture is shaping up, and it ain't looking sweet. You got a lot of these underdog teams that was counted out. They coming through. A lot of teams on some winning streaks. I'm just saying. You was once at the top. They coming down like Goliath. I'm just saying. Nah, you had a nice game Monday night. You had the 49ers playing the Panthers. Nah, I'm going to tell you. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, playing his old team. They gave up on him, man. They gave up on him. He had a decent game. Shout out to Kyle Shanahan and the offense coordinators over there for putting together a nice game script so CMC could do what he needed to do. He finished the game with 24 attempts, 87 yards a touchdown, 7 receptions with 53 yards through the air. I'm taking that. I'm taking that. I like that. And you know who don't get enough love, bro? Brian Robinson Jr., bro. The backup running back for CMC. He had a lot of notable yards gained last night. He really did. On 7 attempts, he had 40 yards, and he was averaging 5.7 yards a carry. Give it up for that young man. Give it up for that young man. That was some good play. Those yards did not go unnoticed by me, young man. I disagree with Earl. You would get your flowers. It's just always a lot to cover, but you got to filter through what you got to filter through. You dig what I'm saying? Yes, Lord. Now, Brock Purdy looked a little rusty. He did. He looked at a little rusty. I ain't going to say a little. He looked at a lot of rusty. I ain't going to even much lie. Brock Purdy looked at a lot of rusty, man. He going to be all right, dude. He went 23 for 32, 193 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Lord have mercy. But the 49ers did win that game 20-9. Now, I must say this. They could have easily lost that game if the Carolina Panthers had a passing game. The experiment with Bryce Young in Carolina is over. Ladies and gentlemen, I repeat, the Bryce Young experiment in Carolina is over. It is over. It showed in his face. The coach tried to talk to him, but he just doing what he's supposed to do as a coach, be a fake motivational speaker. I think he did a good job of that, because Bryce Young went out there and thought he was an all-pro quarterback, closing his ears like he was getting the juicy plays or something. Boy, listen, let me tell you something. Boy, listen. That experiment over. I don't even want to spend too much time on him. Man, let's get into what really mattered this week, man. Give it up for Shedeur Sanders, man. One more time for Shedeur Sanders, man. Made it hard for the Cleveland Browns, man. One more time for Shedeur, man. He made it hard for them, man. I'm glad he made history. He was the first Browns quarterback in his NFL debut to win a game. Yes, Lord. One more time for him. Now, I'm going to say this too. And I hope he kept them game balls from his own game balls. But I'm going to say this too. I believe they setting them up. I believe the Cleveland Browns are setting Shedeur Sanders up. You may ask me how and why I think that. Because he's starting next week against the 49ers. Now, am I happy he's starting? Of course. Is it because it's against the 49ers? Yes and no. Yes, because he go out there and do what we know he's capable of doing, what he most likely going to do, then it's a win-win. But if he go out there and play like a rookie that he rightfully is, with no proper training to do training camp or none of that, then they gonna go ahead on and crucify the man. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they letting him stay high just so they can bring him back low. Because they already said Dylan Gabriel healthy, but he won't be playing. He wasn't like he was playing like J.J. McCarthy for the Minnesota Vikings before he exit. He was playing good. I can't even much hate on the man. The man was playing decent. Because he a rookie too, but he was playing decent. Cleveland was having a little rhythm. So before he went out hurt, he was playing good. I can't lie. And it's not normal for a quarterback who was playing good to be healthy and not play. I'm just saying, man. I just feel like they're setting Shador up. I really do. Some may say, how is it set up if he gonna succeed? Listen, bro, it's football. Things happen. Let's not be naive. Let's not, I know we want to keep positive energy, but we want to be realistic too. The 49ers going to blitz and bring everything they have. Shador have a whole ball problem. You know what I'm saying? He's still a rookie. He's still going to be one of the best quarterbacks in his league at some point throughout his career. But right now, next week, man, it's setting him up for failure, and I don't like it. And Deshaun Watson, is he still in the league? Did he retire or something quietly? Like, why nobody talk about him? Because that's still going to be a situation at some point. Hey, to each his own, I'm just a guy, man. Now, Thursday, Monday Day Football. Thanksgiving. Joe Burrow magically can and will play against the Ravens come Thursday night. Wonder why, right? Money. That's all that's about. All of a sudden, Joe Burrow can come back on Thanksgiving Day against the Baltimore Ravens. Come on, man. We all know that's the rival game of the season. We all want to see that, just like we want to see Baltimore and the Chiefs, Buffalo and the Chiefs. Like, it's just certain games you just want to see, but certain people have to be playing. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson playing like he's still in his 6th year, not throwing the ball, not running the like. It's just nasty situation over there in Baltimore when it come to him. He not feeling it this year. I don't know what's going on, what's political happening behind the scenes. Lamar Jackson is not feeling this season. But I tell you this though, Lamar Jackson is 5-1 against Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson is 10-1 against the Bengals Cincinnati. So I'm gonna believe this game is personal for Joe Burrow. I would want to assume it's personal, and I like it. I do. I like it a lot. So we're gonna see what happens. But I'm anxious to see it. Now, they had a lot of games of the week. You had the Eagles in Dallas. Dallas won that game 24-21, down 21-0 at halftime. They desperately needed that win. You know what I'm saying? You got the Jags over the Carolina. They won 27-24 in overtime. Got the Colts over the Chiefs 23-20 in overtime. The Giants in Detroit 27-34 overtime. Detroit won that game. You got the Steelers and Bears 28-31 with the Bears winning that game. Caleb Williams. Man, give it up for Caleb Williams, man. Give it up for Caleb Williams. Give it up for Ben Johnson, man. Chicago, man, listen, Chicago getting in the way. Chicago gonna do some things that nobody thought they was gonna do this year. But that's the games of the week right there. Now, the red game of the week, we spoke on it briefly in the beginning, but the red game of the week, I'm gonna go ahead on and give it to the Bengals and the Patriots. And you may ask how and why, right? Okay, towards the end of the game, pass interference calls should have been called. Yes, the defensive back got there extremely too early. Yes, the refs did not call the flag. Everybody, including the defensive backs, was looking around because they just knew a flag was coming. It was at least holding something, and you potentially could have called roughing the passer because that's what happened. But they didn't call it, and that would have easily put the Bengals in a beautiful position to score a touchdown and win that game. But again, Vegas rules, Vegas wins, right? It's their game. We're just the pawns. You know what I'm saying? We pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? We pay the bills, and that's the real game of the week, and I don't like it. That final score was 20-26 with the Patriots winning. I don't like it. Because I feel like the Bengals win that game. New England's still in a perfect situation for the playoff picture to get the number 1 seed. And you put the Bengals in a better position for this Thursday night game to be even more meaningful. But the Bengals can still get in the way of the Baltimore Ravens. And I think they will get in the way. Baltimore Ravens been on, a 5-6 game winning streak? But at the same time, the Bengals can get in the way. They ain't going nowhere, but they can still get in the way. You know what I'm saying? But the sus games of the week. Now, these the games, I ain't going to call it rigged, but it was kind of sus, right? You got the Jets and the Ravens. That was kind of sus how that game kind of started panning out, right? You got the Jets up 10-0, and then all of a sudden 23-10 final score. I'm just saying, with a performance that Lamar had, Derrick Henry didn't have no Derrick Henry type game. I'm gonna leave that alone, though. I'm just the guy, right? Then the Bills and Houston game, the stat line didn't move after halftime. Dave Mills had 122 yards going into half. He finished that game with 153 passing yards. I'm just the guy, though, right? The stat lines didn't move, and I know for a fact the Bills had way more to offer. I know for a fact Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, could have put together something offensively, scheme-wise, to stop the pressure on Josh Allen to be able to do what I know they could have done way better. Now, let's get into the favorite part of my segment, and that's my Saints. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord have mercy. I could tell you this much. The Saints defense is not the problem this year. That is not our problem this year. Ironically, the problem this year is the offense. Now, with that being said, keep in mind now, walk with me. We got a rookie head coach. We got a rookie quarterback. Give the man some time to settle in. Tyler Strutt went 30 for 43, which is not bad. I'm taking that. 243 yards, no touchdowns with one interception at the end of the game, just trying to make a play. Just trying to make a play. The final score was 24-10. We played the Atlanta Falcons. You take away that Alvin Kamara fumble where the defense scored that touchdown, the final score is really 17-10. And like I've been saying, if you've been walking with me all these weeks, the Saints losing games we could easily win if we just get a little offensive firepower. If we just get a little bit of offensive firepower, we can win a lot of the games that we lost. We not getting blown out. We losing games by touchdown margins. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking that. Now, my expectations wasn't high. I didn't have no high expectations this year for the Saints. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with it. But I'm going to go ahead on and put the blame on bad play calling, the head coach. And I believe what's happening is this. I believe he's already an offensive mind. He's an offensive coordinator. But now he's in the role of a head coach. And I believe he's allowing the offensive coordinator and the offensive, coordinators, you know what I'm saying, to do their job. But I feel he's so heavily involved trying to keep and incorporate his own little spin to it. It's not mushing. So I think they just need to find some common ground, and he need to just give the trust away. He need to just believe and trust in who he hired to be in the role he hired him to be in. You know what I mean? And I think that's where the disconnect is happening at. You know what I mean? I think he trying to be fair across the board, but at the same time, you hurting the team and you hurting the players' morale. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is a learning experience season for everybody. I think next year we're going to have our identity because we don't have an identity as an offense. We still never created that. We ain't established the run at all this game. Ain't really too much to say. We lost. We lost. We got 2 wins more than what I was expecting to get. So we lost as a team in the organization, but as a fan, Earl, we won. I was expecting to go on 17. We 2-9. I'm cool with it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not cool with losing, but I'm cool with this season. You know what I mean? And we released our kicker because that was another thing that hurt us. He missing these field goals. We gave him chance after chance. We liked them, but everything got to end. So go ahead on and. We signed Clyde York. I like him. He a journeyman. He went to LSU. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how that work out. I guess the Justin Tucker thing wasn't a good fit, so we let him walk and move on. But I believe he'll pick up with somebody real soon. And at the end of the day gotta end. And that's all, ladies and gentlemen. You did.
Who run it? You know you're acting like it down now. You run it. You do know but you're acting like it down now.